Hello, I am Dr. Marci Lynn Jackson, and welcome back to my channel. Guys, thank you guys so much for the love that you have shown me. This is, when you're stepping out on faith and you're doing something you believe that the Lord has called you to do, you don't always have all of the instructions up front. You just have your faith that I need to do this, and you do it, and you just you put it out there, or you go for it, or you put yourself out there, or you move forward in faith, not knowing all of the elements and the things that it will take, or the details, and you just do it. And that's what this channel has been. And so thank you guys for those of you who listen. We are moving in faith here. So I want to say welcome to my channel. I would love for you to subscribe. If you hear something that resonates with you, please subscribe and hit that button, that bell, so that you'd be notified. We post. I'm here every Monday, okay? But I have a word for you today. I want you to buckle up, because we're going to take a quick little journey. And I won't be long, but just a quick journey, all right? Stay with me. Be right back. You know, when you hear people and you see people and all of a sudden they have just exploded and they're everywhere, and they're doing great things, or you yourself are just in demand, or you are operating in this kind of eerie place. It's an uncharted territory for you. You feel awkward. You don't have anywhere to go to get your resources, or there's nobody you could talk to because everybody around you seems to not identify with the space that you're in right now. You probably start to hear people say, "Oh, you may be doing too much," or when you talk now, you guys don't have any deep substance to talk about, just kind of like casual conversation, because what's on your heart or what you're dealing with, they can't relate to or even help you with. Well, you now are in uncharted territory, answered prayers, or moving in a space where you now are the trendsetter, or you're the bushwhacker, or you're the one that's going in and clearing the way, the pioneer for what it is that you're doing. It doesn't matter whether it's in your family, your friend group, your marriage. It doesn't matter. If you've hit this space first, and you don't have any resources to gather from to help you in that space, then you, my dear, are having to move into what is considered, I'm going to say, fifth gear. All right? Fifth gear dynamics, where you now are operating, or you're in fourth gear needing to move to fifth gear. You are operating in a space where if you don't make that shift to acceptance that you now have moved from where you are into an area where maybe you're not quite where you're going, you're on your way there. If you have moved into that area, it seems like maybe there's lag behind you. There's some resistance with those that you're talking with, and it's uncomfortable for you. And you just say, well, you know what? I'd rather call them back later or deal with them later, because right now they don't identify with what I'm going through. You are in fourth gear now, needing to move to fifth gear. Let me explain this to you. Just stay with me. Stay with me. I think I'm going to shed some light and answer some questions that some people may have been having and didn't realize what was happening to them. But there's a transition period from fourth gear to fifth gear, and I'm talking typically like for a vehicle, right? A stick shift, or an automatic. You hear it in the engine, but let's just talk about like a stick shift, a car, where you now it's like a gear ratio, where you're moving from the fourth gear to the fifth gear, and you're changing this ratio, and it affects the torque and the speed of the vehicle. Where the fifth gear is usually an overdrive gear, meaning it allows the vehicle to use less engine RPM for the same speed compared to lower gears, improving fuel efficiency. So let's just say I'm moving somewhere, right? I'm driving and I am going 40 miles an hour, but now I'm on the highway. I was going 40 miles an hour on the street, but now I'm on the highway. And if in fourth gear, I'm going 40 miles an hour, ready now to accelerate to 50. And I've moved up to 50. Automatically, the car, if you're in an automatic, it will change gears for you. But in a stick shift, the car start to lag because you are still in fourth gear trying to pick up or accelerate speed into fifth gear. And when the car lags, the engine starts to rev up because it wants to go faster so that it can move more efficiently in fifth gear, so it can take you to 40 miles an hour to 50 and so forth and so on. And so now you need to shift gears to fifth gear so that you can accelerate to the new level in which you're trying to, or the new speed in which you're trying to accomplish in that car. Same with your life. So now you are doing the same things you were doing, right? But you don't realize that now you're in answered prayers. And it is requiring more of you. You are in the dream zone. You are doing things that you've only dreamed of. And God has answered your prayer, given you the more that you have asked for. You are in it, but there's lag in your life. You're uncomfortable around the people that you've always been around, the conversations that you've always had. You were doing all the same things that you were always doing. And now you're uncomfortable doing it because you didn't shift into fifth gear. Meaning that you cannot do the same things that you have always done in this new season in your life and expect that there won't be lag. And to get rid of the lag, you now need to shift gears. And so let me help you with this. Let me help you understand this. I had to put my glasses on. These readers, oh my goodness. But look, just stay with me. By now, we family, right? I can throw these glasses on and you be okay. You know, I can't see a thing without them. And I think the readers did it to me because my vision was okay. And they told me I needed level 1 readers. And now here I am with these level 1 readers and can't see nothing. So anyway, here we go. So in using this fifth gear analogy in your life, it can serve as a metaphor for your personal growth and your achievement. And so I want you to do one thing. And the first thing you need to do is recognize that you need to shift. Just like moving from fourth to fifth gear signifies a transition to a higher level, acknowledge that you've worked hard to reach where you are, your current position. You got the promotion. All right, you're in it. And so what you were doing, or what you have the tendency to do, or your body or your mind would have the tendency to do, is to do the same things you did to get to that position, but you are no longer there, right? And so you almost will feel like, man, I got this raise or I got this promotion. Now what do I do? Have you ever seen or known of people that get somewhere and then they lose? Like I've seen it. I've watched ministers. This has happened. And if you've seen this, tell me. Let's just be real here. I watch ministers. They sit over and they'll support a pastor or a leader for years, and finally they get their break, right? And now it's their turn. They get their turn, and then all of a sudden within a year or 2 years they fall off in scandal, and then we don't hear from them anymore. I've seen that more than I should, but I'm asking myself, like, what happened? What happened to them? You know, they sat here and they were faithful over in this ministry, and now they got their own, or they were faithful as this manager, and now they've been promoted to executive leadership, and then all of a sudden they fall off. Like, what happened? Did they, and what I realized is they didn't shift with the promotion. They didn't shift with the new position. Their minds didn't shift. And so they wanted to do some of the things that they did on lower levels up here and on a higher level, and it doesn't work in this atmosphere, and it disqualifies them. And so what's happened is you now need to recognize you are in answer prayers. You say you are in grind mode. You say you want more, and you get more. And now that you're here, you don't allow the shift in your mind. You don't recognize that I cannot do or be around the same people that I've been around at this level. I was listening to Master P years ago talking about, for years, you know, he wanted to give back to his community, and he still does that, but he realized that he couldn't live in the same place he lived in and do it. He had to move. His mind had to shift because he had elevated above where he was. And if he stayed where he was physically, it would affect him mentally, and the people around him they couldn't handle his shift. So he had to recognize that he shifted. And the first thing people want to do is, oh, you changed. Of course I did. I needed to. I needed to grow into where I am. My boots are bigger now. So I got to fill the shoes in which I am walking in if I want to stay here. And then even then, just like anything else, if I'm not going to stay even on this level too long. I'm going to give myself 2 years, 3 years, or what have you to fill this out. And then I'm going to be seeking more because I want to go from faith to faith. You know, I want to move up. I want to accelerate. I want to have longevity. I want to remain relevant. And if I want to do that, then I'm going to have to accelerate. And then if I accelerate, I'm going to have to shift with that acceleration. Do you understand what I'm saying? So then the second thing that you need to do after you recognize that there's a shift, and this is your cue to embrace the new challenges and opportunities that come with it, then you're going to have to optimize your efforts. All right? In fifth gear, there's less strain and more efficiency, right? I'm not straining to be here, right? My muscles are developed enough to be on this level. So now I need to operate more efficiently. I need to work smarter and not harder. Right? I need to do things that are not working against where I am. That may mean the conversations, the books I read, the places I go, things that I need to do now to spark my creativity. I need to protect my heart. I need to guard my mind. I need to renew my mind. If I took in the word for 30 minutes, 3 times a week, I may need to now accelerate that or up that or do whatever my body is telling me or my mind is telling me I need to do in order to sustain that level. It's like losing weight. If I lost weight at 1,200 calories, then now I am in maintenance mode, right? And in maintenance mode, I can go up to 1,500 calories and work out 2 times a week and maintain what I did when I had to dip down to 1,200. Are you tracking with me? In other words, I now have embraced that I am on a new level. I am not where I was before to get to this place, right? I had to make sacrifices that on this level, I don't even have to worry about anymore. Now on this level, my sacrifices are different. Maybe before my sacrifices were that I had to, maybe write papers or I'm in school. So now I had to sacrifice the communication that I had with people. Like when I was getting my doctorate, my relationships were very limited. I couldn't put in a lot of time in relationships. Well, now that's over. I am Dr. Marci Lynn Jackson. And coming with that now, where I didn't have time for the relationships, I only had to maintain them and there was no new friends. In this level, in this space in my life, now networking is a must. So I have to make time for that. And what has that meant? I've had to sit down with my husband and say, honey, I know that at 5 o'clock, maybe when I was done with work now, I may need to go to a happy hour so that I can talk to some people that, that's going to be on my next level. Like I'm having to rearrange my life. It doesn't stay the same. And as with my husband, he and I talking, we're saying, all right, well, what do we need to do now? And even with him and what he's doing, what do you need from me right now? Because I see you have shifted gears and he ain't finna leave me behind. So I'm saying, all right, what do we need to do? And both of us have made the decision that we are in grind mode and things are not the same as they were last season. We are in 5th gear. We want to move more efficiently. Then we now need to talk through what does this 5th to 4th gear shift look like? And now, even with that, how do we optimize it? And there's less strain and more efficiency. You look for ways to be smart in your work. This may mean seeking new strategies, tools, and support systems that enhance your productivity without burning you out. So what do we do? Like even for my home, it's like, all right, date night. All right. Date night we do once a week where we used to could do 2 or 3 times. What have you? In this season, it has changed and you now need to change with it. What's the third thing that you need to do? Because things are different up here. The atmosphere is thinner. You now need to maintain that momentum. Okay? Just as shifting gears helps maintain speed and momentum, focus on sustaining your drive and your motivation. Because trust me, just as my name is Dr. Marci Lynn Jackson, it shifts. Motivation does not, it is not sometimes you're not motivated. I'm going to be honest. It's just going to shift into discipline. You're going to have to do the things that you don't feel like doing sometimes. You're going to have to get up and turn that camera on, get those lights together, make the meetings go, like the other day, I had meetings all day long and talking, I was spent. But I still had to make the commitments of the networking engagements that I had. And I had one at, 4:30, then had to leave there, go to another one at 6:30. And my husband was like, well, honey, can you at least make me some salmon? Okay, and I had to go do that. And then didn't even have to leave the salmon out. Had to go get some. So the point that I'm making is the sacrifices that we have on this time. We have to now maintain this momentum. Sometimes it's discipline and not motivation, because you're not going to always feel motivated. I think it's unrealistic to put that on you, that you're going to feel that and that you're going to be in that creative space all the time. It doesn't work that way. It's not all that. David said he had to encourage himself in the Lord. He had to encourage himself. That's two things. Other people around you is saying two things. Other people around you, there may not be there to encourage you all the time. They may not even see your effort. They don't even know you moved you shifted gears. They just think that you're busy right now, but you shifted on them. It may mean that they're not there to pat you on the back. You're not going to get that. Deion Sanders said he was used to his mother having to work, so he was used to not having someone in those stands to cheer for him. So he was he knew in his mind he had to do it himself. It's this same thing. And what do you need to do? Get yourself together. What do you need to do to maintain this momentum? And sometimes it will be discipline. There have been days where I have woke up, and usually I'll listen to my prayers, or I'll listen to myself on YouTube or others on YouTube to motivate me, and get myself together. But then there are times where I had to put on hardcore motivation talk, like people, like athletes, I've had to go that route, like get yourself up and bust myself in my chest, because I needed determination to kick in for me. I needed discipline to kick in for me, because I didn't want to do that last rep. I didn't want to do that last thing that I had on my to-do list. I didn't want to meet my own obligations. I was tired, or mentally I'm done, or I'm spent, and so sometimes you may have to do that to maintain your momentum. And the fourth thing you need to do is embrace the journey. You embrace it. You accept that this is where you are, and it's okay. It's the season that you're in. It's not going to change. You're here, and you wanted to be here. You fought to get here. You deserve this seat at the table. And how dare anybody say that you don't? And to say that means you have embraced it yourself. We're not dealing with imposter syndrome. I don't care what anybody around you feel or say about what you are doing, because what you are doing is filling a seat that you carved the way for. Okay? You tracking with me here? So understand that striving for more at this new level is a part of the process. Embrace that growth opportunity that came your way. And this may involve taking risk, stepping out of your comfort zone, and acquiring new skills. You may have to do that. Sometimes it's going to require that. It may cause you now that, all right, I used to be able to go and do this, and I can do it off the top of my head. You may not be able to do that. You may need to get in the mirror and practice. You may need to role play. You may need to say, call a friend and say, hey, listen, you be this person, I'm going to be this person, because I need to go talk this. I'm going to go in a meeting, and I want to find my blind spot. So I'm going to employ all the tools. You now embracing the journey means that you accept the tools, right, that come with the level that you're on. And also, the last but not least, you balance. You have balance and you have reflection. Balance is like shifting to a higher gear allows for a smoother ride. It ensures you find balance in your life. And what is balance? Let's talk about real balance. Balance is also knowing that sometimes you're working off of 80. Sometimes you're working off 20. Sometimes you're on 0. And embracing any of those levels is balance. Because then you can offset it if you acknowledge that I'm on 0 today. My husband and I have this thing where it's like, all right, not, how people say, not today. Some will say things like, oh, I'm on 0. I don't have it. I'm on -2, or I got 5 in the tank on a scale of 1 to 10, or hey, I'm on a 10. And then the other person's like, I'm on a 2, bring it down a notch, bring it down a notch, you know. But knowing where you are in your tank helps you create that balance, because it will not always be 100%. You will not always be on 100, and that is okay. But here's where you are. You are not on this level. You have moved up. You have now moved to a new level. You are in, for some of you, in answered prayers. And to be in answered prayers means now you have to accept what comes on this level, even the adversity that comes on this level. It may require you to study a little bit more, fast, turn over your plate, get your flesh together, bring it into subjection, because you deserve to be here. You don't want to disqualify yourself, because you deserve everything that is coming for you. The word of the Lord says that he will withhold no good thing from you. And so you deserve this. You deserve to be here, which means now you deserve what comes with it. You deserve the struggles, because you are qualified for it. The muscles that you have right now, they're strong enough to stand up against these strongholds and to pull them down and bring them subject to what the word of the Lord says about why you deserve to be here. Okay. And in doing that, knowing that nothing can disqualify you from this level but yourself. So you now need to focus on your focus. All right. You are moving gears. You need to shift gears. And I want to encourage you to do that. So welcome to this level. Welcome to answered prayers. This is what we've prayed about for April, and we're here. April is almost gone. We prayed this though. Go back and look at that old video that I had about praying for our month of April, and see if you are not operating in some of those things that you prayed for this month. And so now that you are here and you are moving past that trash and mess that was going on in your life, and you now are moving into more efficiency, then you now need to operate as such, because now you are building more muscles for the next level, right? All right, that's where we are to go. We are forward thinking, forward moving creatures. We are not to stay the same. If we don't, we die. Your muscles, if you don't move your muscles, atrophy, is it atrophy? Atrophy. What did I atrophy sets in? And what is that? See, is atrophy is where the muscles start to shrink. Muscle mass when you don't use your muscles. So you got to use it. So if you don't use it, you lose it. There you have it. So you got to do it. See, it is on the video with us today. But that is exactly what happens. And that's what's happening for you today. All right. God bless you. I'll see you again next week for a word for you. Thank you. God bless you. I'm Dr. Marci Lynn Jackson. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later. Bye-bye.